This week's episode, we are going to be tackling the 64 Chevy 2 of my buddy Thomas's. We got to get started on getting this floor pan in, and then we've got the rear subframe sections up in these boxes. QA1 also sent over a new front shock for Loud and Ugly for the Nostalgia Nationals. That is this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll be watching this video on Sunday. I did announce that last week. If you watched last week's video, I hope to see everybody there, but let's get started on this thing right now. Being that there's not much left of the floor right now, still means that there is a little bit of rigidity in this. So we're going to go ahead and X-brace this up. From my understanding, doing a little bit more research, we've X-braced Cal's 56 Chevy a little different. We went, vertical and horizontal. I'm just going to do basically creating a new floor piece in here with some 1x1 box steel. I went with, I think it's 14 gauge. So it's nice and sturdy, good enough for what we're doing here. I'll run a piece that goes along each one of these from the A, B, C pillar. It'll run horizontally across both ways, and then I'll put 3 crossbars in up at the A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar, or I think that's what these would be called. And then we will run X's in between. This floor pan obviously is one big piece here, so it's going to have to come up from the bottom side. So we're going to have to remove part of this front subframe. On these cars, they're like a unibody mix with frame, so the front part, or the front clip actually bolts on with like eight bolts on each side, driver's side and passenger side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to unbolt that so that I can cut these front frame sections out so we can slide this new panel up in here. It's very, very rusty, so I'm hoping that we're able to save that. But we're going to go ahead and get this braced up before we start cutting anything. body all X-braced up. Tomorrow we're gonna move on to pushing this car forward a little bit, getting the prime weld plasma cutter over here. It's the Cut 60, the big dog. We're gonna cut the perimeter of this out, and then we've got a lot of spot welds to drill / grind to get everything out of the way. We've got a lot of things to flapper disc and make it nice and smooth back down to raw steel, so when we slide this new pan in, we've got good material to weld to. And where there is not good material, which there are quite a few places, we're gonna have to take some sheet metal and cut some things out and make our own patches for those areas, but that's all part of the fun. So, we'll catch you in the morning. It's morning time here at Loud and Ugly Garage. We're gonna take that prime weld Cut 60 and cut these floor pans out. What's nice about a plasma cutter is with rust and everything, it's not like a torch. It blasts right through it. The torch, you have to heat the metal up and then apply the air. This applies the air directly and creates heat directly. So it cuts right through rust, which is a huge benefit. If you've ever cut with a torch, you know how annoying that is, where it's popping back at you and making a mess all over. So we'll be able to just go along here. We've got that front frame section that we've got to look out for, and we'll have to clean up here. So we put the new panel on, we can drill spot welds through it. As well as right here at the rear hump for the back seat, there's a cross member that goes all the way across the body here. So we've got to watch out for both of those. But this should go pretty quick, cutting it out with the plasma cutter. And then we got a lot of grinding to do to finish this off to make everything nice and shiny for the new metal to weld to. I got the floor cut out of the 64. Now running into issues here with the front subframe. There isn't much firewall left that is worthy of holding this front end on. Thomas is going with the bolt-on gasser front end kit, so you can actually buy this bolt-on kit. There's bolts up top here and I think 4 down at the bottom, where you can take those out and this whole front clip just wheels right off like we did with Jordan's car when we picked that up and brought it over here. So we're going to go ahead and take this off, and we're going to replace those front subframes because they're like paper thin, and this car is going to be getting a big block Chevy in it, possibly making some good horsepower one day. So we want to make sure that all the frame pieces, the floor, everything is connected. We went ahead and talked on the phone before I went in for lunch today. He ordered the front frame sections and the frame connectors that are going to the new rear subframe that's in the back there. We got those new in the box. So this thing's going to have all new floor pan, all new front frame section, frame strengtheners, and rear frame section. So it's pretty much going to be like a chassis, just a little bit cheaper way of going about it, because we're trying to make this as cost effective for him so he can get out hot rodding as soon as possible. We got the 64 Nova all stripped down today, firewalls chopped. I didn't chop it up all the way because we want to slide this in there and kind of cut with a grinder. Make sure that we get it at the right height and don't cut too much out. We've got everything pretty much prepped in the back. I am going to have to do a little bit of fixing to the cancer rust that's going on this thing so that we can get the floor pan in there, because I won't be able to get to it once the floor pan's in. We'll tackle all that on Monday. Right now we're going to switch over to Loud and Ugly here. We are prepping for the Nostalgia Nationals. We leave in the morning, so we're going to do oil change, valve lash on it, and then just general maintenance. I always go through and check all the nuts and bolts, all the lug nuts, tire pressures, all that stuff, and make sure that nothing has cracks in it, because we beat the crap out of Loud and Ugly. I feel bad for it this year. But we plan on dragging the bumper all weekend at Milan. So if you're not there, you're gonna be missing out. This video is playing the weekend that we're there. So I announced it last week in last week's video. Hopefully you guys came out. We'd love the support and meeting the fans. So we're gonna hop on to this and get working on Loud and Ugly. That's a wrap on today's video. We have gotten a lot of stuff done here this week with Thomas's 64 Nova. We've got the race prep done on Loud and Ugly. This is our biggest last race of the year. I think we have one more that's just a single day event, but this is going to be a full weekend of racing. So really went through the truck today. We got the new QA1 shock on the front. Thank you QA1 again for sending that out. After doing that 100-foot wheelie on the bumper, and with the throttle sticking it, slamming down and everything, it popped that front shock, which is kind of to be expected. We're being a little rough on the QA1 suspension, but so far the rear coilovers, everything's held up. It's just when you take a really big slam like that, you kind of have to expect something to give. And that thing probably saved my frame or shackles or anything when it came down. So thank you QA1. We're going out to the track tomorrow. That's going to be Milan, Michigan. The new track owner has renamed it. I think it's Durana Dragway now. So we're going there for the first time this year, and we'll check that track out. We'll be sure to walk you guys around, show you any of the changes they made, and we'll see you at the racetrack.